And welcome back to the Profile Pod. I'm your host, Double A, back for another spectacular episode here on the pod. I want to thank you for tuning in, whether you're here on the live or whether you're here watching the replay. It's always love, man. I appreciate it, man. I want to thank everybody for all the love on social media, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, the follows, the subscriptions, man. It's all much appreciated. So, without an audience, without there's no show. There's no show. So I do it because I want to provide you with an inspirational guest, inspirational interview. And like I say, man, this is the podcast that brings on individuals doing extraordinary things in life to inspire the human spirit. And tonight we have some gentlemen, some very young gentlemen. They're UCLA film students. They're going to break us off with some really cool They're going to break off some nuggets, man. I'll tell you what. Because they're doing things in the film industry where they've already got a few projects under their belt. They have their platform. It's called Believe You Are the Best. It's a film production studio that they've already started, and they're well on their way, man. They're ahead of the game, and they're going to talk all about it. They've done some, like I said, they've done a couple projects titled "An Unplanned Malady" and "Stimuli." And we got some. They're standing by, and we got some of the co-stars, some of the cast members of each one of those productions, and the director. So it's really it's such a pleasure having them on, man. I got my cool UCLA shirt, to show some love. I grew up loving UCLA more than I did. UCLA, man. I grew up a UCLA fan. I'll be honest. And I'm honored to have these gentlemen on. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Christian, Alan, Alejandro, Martin, Cruz, and Nicholas Grzywacz. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
UCLA.
How are you guys?
Real good. We're doing great.
We're
yeah.
fantastic.
Man, I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for taking the time, for being here with us, man. And yeah, man, I want to talk all about the college life, man. I miss college. I'll tell you what, guys.
Yeah, we're missing it soon, too. So
yeah,
we'll be in the same boat.
Graduation's in 1 month.
1 month from today. It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
Not me. I just finished my freshman year, so.
Okay. Well, no, it's all good, Nick. Hey, good for you. What school are you at, Nick? I'm sorry. You're on
I go to Rider University in New Jersey. But I study acting, so.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. No. Yeah, no, definitely, man. And like Christian and Alejandro said, they're getting ready to graduate, man. And man, you guys are doing some big things, man. I really like what you guys are doing with your platform. Believe You Are the Best. I want to get into all of it, man. But I kind of want to just, if we could go maybe one by one, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, give us a quick little rundown of where you grew up, what your specialty is. Obviously, we got some actors here. We have a director. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with Nick, if you don't mind.
All right. Hi, I am Nicholas Grzywacz. I'm 19 years old. I grew up in New Hampshire. I'm currently going to school in New Jersey at Rider University studying acting. And I've been doing theater and other things since I was 8. So I've been have some stuff under my belt for a long time, and I love it. Still want to keep it up. That's why I'm getting my degree. So that's me.
And Nick, you've done some voiceover work as well, right?
Not yet. I hope to, though.
Oh, okay. I thought I doing my homework here for the episode. I thought
that was just my reel. Hasn't really gotten much attention yet, but I'm glad you saw that. It means people are seeing it.
Oh yeah, man. I like the work you did on that voiceover. It sounded really great, man. Real professional. And
thank you. I appreciate that. No, I did it all myself, so that's great to hear.
Oh wow. Okay, impressive, man. Impressive. Thanks, Nick. Let's go with Christian. Christian, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, my brother.
Yeah. I'm 22 years old. I am currently getting my BA for communications at the University of California, Los Angeles. But I'm originally from Riverside, California. What I've done here at UCLA, I've been an actor for the Latino Film and Theater Association. I'm also a fellow for Chicano Hollywood, the Hildegard Art Fellowship, a judge for Directing Change, a nonprofit film organization, and then I run creative development here at Bleed You Are the Best. So that means I've done some writing, some producing, some directing with Stimuli and the AUM series.
Oh, nice, man. You're Riverside. Okay, IE, man. Hey, I grew up in Rancho Cucamonga, brother.
Hey, that's not that far.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, and big shout out to Chicano Hollywood with Johnny Murillo and everybody. And I've done some work with them. And yeah, man, it's great. It's great. You're doing some big things, man. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen watching, if you'd like to pose a question for our guests, go ahead and post it in the comment section there. And I'll do the best I can to pose your question, post it on the screen and give you a shout out. So we try to make this interactive and so you can, present a question or comment to myself or the guest. So preferably the guest, right? And then we got my man, last but not least, Alejandro Martin Cruz. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing real good. And yeah, so I'm Alejandro Martin Cruz. I'm 21 years old. I'm also graduating in a month from UCLA with a comm major. And I've been, I'm an HSF scholar for the year of 2022 and 2023. And I work here at the School of Film also. But apart from working in the School of Film, I also have been a lead actor for Stimuli. I was an executive producer for Stimuli as well, and a cinematographer for An Unplanned Melody, and director for AUM, which is also an unplanned milestone. And I'm from San Diego, originally from San Diego, but UCLA was my dream school, and but UCLA is just I love it here, and so I've been acting. I've been a child actor since when I was, but I've been acting for a decade, and we used to. I used to act when back in elementary school and middle school, and it would before Zoom, we would have to go to like auditions and all that stuff, all the way from San Diego, all the way to LA. Like so, it was just like it was just tough. It was just tough to like do it through high school, and so I worked hard enough to get here to UCLA so that we could produce movies, so we could do act and everything, and just live here in Los Angeles. It's a beautiful city, and I've always wanted to live here, and so I'm just grateful for these opportunities that I'm given.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Thank you for that, Alejandro. No, man, big time. Yeah, no, that's man, UCLA guys. I mean, I like I said, man, I grew up loving UCLA, man, and I'm just like envious of you guys, man. Envious you guys because of that, and I grew up watching football, going to the Rose Bowl for the games, and all three of you guys, man, what's it like to be in college? Before we get into everything, right? I just kind of want to, because I graduated with my undergrad from CSUN in 2002, and then I went to grad school, graduated in 2013. So it's been 10 years for me, man. And I just want to kind of live vicariously through you guys, man. Tell us a little bit about college life these days, man. If you guys can share maybe what it's things maybe you don't like. And you guys, obviously, Nick, you're a freshman, and then Christian, Alejandro, you guys are wrapping things up here soon. But so we're kind of at both ends of the spectrum. But yeah, to share a little bit about college life, a little bit about you guys live in Westwood, outside of Westwood. Nick, where Rider University, where you're at. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Whoever wants to take the mic there.
Why don't we have the fresh meat go first?
I introduced myself first. All right. So I go to Rider University. It's kind of it's a smaller private college. So yeah, there's I don't remember how many students, but I think it's a smaller campus. I specifically wanted one with a campus when I was choosing one because there are a lot of ones in the city, like in Philly or New York. But yeah, I wanted one with a campus. It's really nice. I really it's pretty. It's a flatter campus, and there's this little pond. It's really pretty. And I have acting classes, which have been great. I didn't have as many my first semester. I only had like 2, but now I have like 4 in the second semester. And
Okay.
4. This one. Yeah, I think 4. If you count
Okay.
filmmaking. And then Yeah, it's been great. I lived in a dorm and it was all like musical theater and acting majors. I decided to go for acting even though most of my background is in musical theater. I just wanted to try acting out. Well, not try it out. It's what I want to do. It's what I was interested in more. Yeah, that's the teachers were great, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Very cool, Nick. Is it still cold out there right now on the East Coast? Where you're at?
Where I am, it's warming up. It's warming up. I honestly would have liked it to be colder in New Jersey. I'm back in New Hampshire now, and it snows in New Hampshire. It didn't really snow in New Jersey. It was just kind of wet all the time. So
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, you know what I was telling you earlier, man. I when I was in the Navy, I met some guys from New Hampshire, man. Good dudes, man. They were solid, and I remember them really well. And one in particular was I won't say his name, but he was in boot camp and really just humble, real solid guy, man. And
definitely great people.
but yeah, thank you for man. Yeah, appreciate it, Nick, and you sharing that. And how about Christian, man? What can you tell us about life on UCLA and you know these past 4 years, man? Has it gone by fast? Give us a little bit of your world, man.
Yeah, well, I think Alejandro and I would both probably be envious of a flat campus. That is the antithesis of what UCLA is. It's nothing but hills, staircases, and you really get calves after a while being here. But yeah, no, UCLA has been really, really great. I was telling someone earlier, my favorite part about UCLA is how international it is. You meet a lot of different kinds of people, and people from all around the world with completely different worldviews, and it really challenges you to, to learn more and to not be so in your comfort zone and in your own bubble. I think that's really great. It's something that you can't get a lot of places. And I think because of that, it really creates this environment where a lot of the learning happens outside the classroom and not inside the classroom. Yeah. And that's just really great. Where else can you meet people like this? Meeting someone like Alejandro, whose life is very different from mine, our childhoods and whatnot, but you're able to be presented with differences and then find what you do have in common. And that's the bread and butter of UCLA.
Yeah, it's that whole area is just unbelievable, man. Westwood and the west side of LA, all that going into Santa Monica and all that. It's but good for you, man. I bet you look back now, I bet, and you're amazed at how fast it went, right?
Yeah.
No doubt, man. Like I said, I did the college. Did anybody do the community college route first? Anyone?
Oh, we both did community college, actually. Transfers. We haven't been here for 4 years. You caught us.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go? I'm so sorry.
I went to Riverside Community College.
I went to South College in Chula Vista.
RCC and Southwestern.
Mm-hmm.
I played both of them, man. I went to Chaffey College myself. Christian, I know you're familiar. But yeah, the community college, man, that's a interesting life too, man. Community college life, but UCLA is just like I'm trying to pick your brains as much as I can because like I said, man, I've always loved UCLA, man. And speaking of college, I want to give my son a quick shout out, man. I have a son that's your guys' age, man. He's 21. He went to East LA College, and he's about to commit tomorrow to Concordia St. Paul in Minnesota for his football scholarship. So big shout out to my son Renee. I want to give him a quick shout out, man.
Congratulations!
Thank you guys. Thank you, man. Yeah, I told him I'm gonna give you a shout out. I got some UCLA guys coming out, as well as Nicholas. So thank you for sharing that, Christian. Alejandro, man, what about you, man? Tell us a little bit about your experience, man, and as you wind down here at UCLA.
So I just say I appreciate all the time that you have because honestly, as a transfer, you just get 2 years. It gets cut in half, and it also it didn't help that around the time it was when the COVID pandemic was we're returning. So a lot of us were sort of in this shell that we need to get out of, and so that was a huge thing that I think about college was it was trying to not only go past this, but also trying to find out what you want to do, where you want to be 10 years from now, 20 years, 50 years, any years, and like what your outcome is going to be in after college in general, and what the person that you're going to be is. So it's a huge place where you can find out what you want to be with yourself and how you want to present yourself to others, where you learn about other cultures. We're like home to like several like people of several nations, different nations. Like we just have so much diversity at UCLA. It's just amazing to like see people and like different cultures interacting with each other. It's I've had different roommates from different nations. It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's definitely a once in a lifetime experience. And college is it's beautiful. It's great, and I highly recommend everyone who's considering that going into college. Like I recommend the community college route unless you're like like me. But yeah, community college. Also, I would like to give a huge shout out to it because I didn't do good in high school. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't good. I was just 3.0. I was straight B. It's like, oh, C's get degrees, yeah. But community college is where I really I feel like I was given that second chance to be here at UCLA, at my dream schools, where I was able to revive my dream. Where usually in San Diego, you only go to SDSU, UCSD, or any USD. It's like, no, I wanted to shoot above the stars and go to UCLA. UCLA, you're here, you're in the entertainment capital of the world. You're surrounded by Westwood, Brentwood, Bel Air. Like you're just a block from Hollywood. It's amazing. And so it's really a life, like a dream. It's a dream come true for absolutely anything that you want to do, even if it's not film, even if it's like something as engineering, computer science, even psychology. We have great schools for that. And I feel like UCLA, you're just going to find that great community here. It's very competitive though. Very, very, very competitive.
Yeah.
It's very, just a couple of tips, just maintain like a good social life. So remember to not just like stress out about work. It's also about finding things that you want, finding clubs. A huge part of how I met Christian was we're both comm students, but he started like this group chat on GroupMe that was comm students interested in film. And that's really how I got to know him and everyone else that I know that, that's in comm and film. So it's finding those interests and finding these people that you don't know that they're going to have this huge impact in the future of your life and the world. And it's amazing just being surrounded by it. Even like just with the architecture of the campus itself, like it's just UCLA is beautiful. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, man, it's definitely a phenomenal place, man. And yeah, I appreciate you giving those tips there, Alejandro, to about community college. Yeah, community college is a great place too, man. Hey, like you said, I was I don't know, 2.8 GPA coming out of high school, maybe. Yeah, 2.8, whatever. And then I went to the military, but yeah, I came back home and got my start at Chaffey College, man. And I really got to, focus in and really just buckle down before I went off into the university world, man. But yeah, man, good for you guys, man. That's definitely an accomplishment because, as you probably know, UCLA is probably one of the toughest UCs to get into, in the system, the UC system, right? And I don't have to tell you guys that, but yeah, man. Hey, let's as we go on with the conversation, I'm gonna just continue to go back in time and kind of relive through you guys, man, but about college and the college life, man. But let's get into everything you guys got going on, man. Believe You Are the Best. We have Nick who was part of the cast. Did you star in Unplanned Melody, Nick?
Yes, it was an unplanned melody.
And did you have the lead role in that one?
No, I was a supporting role, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm very grateful for that. So,
yeah.
Well, let me just say, he didn't need more screen time because he totally killed it with the role that he had. Everyone hates Parker. I hate Parker. Yeah, I think no one would want more screen time for his character. So he killed it.
I accomplished my goal.
I was building that.
Yeah. I want to ask you how you guys met and all that, and how you got connected. But when is that? That's forthcoming, right? It's I think dropping late May this month.
No, actually, an Unplanned Melody is streaming right now, the full series. We call it streaming accessibly, so you can find it anywhere on I Believe You Are the Best social, on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. Just because the purpose and intent of this series is to bring like awareness for the foster system and teen pregnancy, and creating that dichotomy between the two. And so yeah, it's streaming anywhere you can find I Believe You Are the Best Instagram account.
Awesome. And which it also directed by yourself, Christian Allen, right? And how did you guys come up with how did you guys connect with Nicholas, man? He obviously he's in on the East Coast, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if I remember, okay, basically, so Believe You Are the Best is something that started during the pandemic. And I was only able to work with what I had, right? I had no connection to the industry or whatnot, but I knew that I wanted to tell stories. And so I think if anyone watches any of these projects, you can tell that maybe like quality is lacking here and there, but they are very story driven. And so, like a lot of people, I had too much time on my hands during the pandemic. I wrote these series. An Unplanned Miracle was the first season to this whole AUM collection. It was supposed to be one and done. It did quite well. It really blew up. And so I met with a few sponsors and organizations, and it got renewed for a second season, which was totally unexpected. I was very reluctant to do it. And so actually like 2 years ago now, I because I had so little resources, I literally just DM'd actors I found on Backstage. I was like, hey, I want to, like, there's this series that's probably going to go into the works. Would you be down? And it wasn't even on Backstage. It was on Instagram. I like stalked them. Him, Andre Golter, all of that. And Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. You were going to audition for Lupe's Graduation, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, a completely different Believe You Are the Best project. But he missed the audition.
Yes, that's true. I have the DM right here.
Yeah, he missed the audition for that. But then like a few months later, I think he contacted me again, and I was like, actually, we're looking for a white male to be this character. He auditioned for you auditioned for the lead role, right?
Yeah, for Dylan.
Yeah,
well, at the time I think he had a different name, right? I don't know. But...
No, his name was Parker, but it was Dylan Naraki now. Yeah, so he auditioned for the lead character, and then I think we had him do like a screen test with Andre Golter, who is the lead character of An Unplanned Melody, and we just decided that we cannot pass up having Nick Grzywacz as the antagonist of our series. And so yeah, we gave him the antagonizing role. But that's how I met most of my actors before coming to UCLA, is just, putting myself out there, DMing them. Andre Golter is an actor across the world. He's in Australia, but I worked with him on every project I've done since then, just because like, I think if anything can be said about Believe You Are the Best is that it's a multimedia that, sets its mind to something and does it. There was absolutely no logical explanation as to why Andre Golter, an Australian actor based in Brisbane, should have been a part of all these projects, but he is, and I think it just speaks to the level of innovation and out-of-the-box thinking that we have to be able to make these productions happen in that kind of capacity.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. And so, Nick, where did you guys shoot An Unplanned Melody?
Do you want to explain?
I mean, I shot right here and in my car.
Oh.
So yeah, it was kind of easy for me. I just kind of had to set up some stuff because since it was during the pandemic, we just had to kind of shoot from where we could.
Wow. Okay, so you guys you've never really actually met in person?
We have never met like people in person.
Very interesting, man. And so you guys were able to make that work, where he, with the editing and all of that, right? Where Nick shot his scenes.
Yeah, I mean, we had a Zoom call with the actors and Christian, and then we would do the scene, and we would have AirPods with the Zoom call in our ears, and then we would be filming on a different camera besides the webcam. And it was kind of like, it was this whole complex thing where it ended up being like, okay, so there's the right amount of time.
Zoom.
Say again, Christian?
So like the camera can only hear the actor; it couldn't hear the Zoom.
Yeah.
And
So there wasn't any feedback.
They would talk to the camera as if they could see the other person, but they weren't looking at the other actor. They were just looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It
Okay.
was very complicated.
That's interesting. You guys made it work though, man. You guys made it work.
I don't think you. I think most people watching, they think it's like a Zoom call, but no, we filmed it. Nothing was filmed on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Wow, I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it. And Alejandro, were you in AUM?
Was actually.
I was actually a photographer for all the shooting and location shooting for over here in UCLA when we had our actress Kate Larson, our actress Kate Larson, and what? His name? Clement Decker.
Our Miles Hendrick.
Our Miles Hendrick, exactly. And so we just had to do a lot of in-location like shooting, and so a lot of it was doing this sort of the process that Christian said about doing this sort of like webcam where it would actually be like a camera and not actually talking, but also synchronizing each actor, like if they were actually talking to each other, but wearing an AirPod. Like it was like a little complex, but once we got used to it, it's like, oh, let's just pop this in. We did a lot of skits. I think we also did Senioritis Confessions and others. Like that
we filmed Senioritis Confessions that way.
Yeah. That's the way like I learned how and then in Unplanned Melody we did that with phone calls. We did that with just Zoom and everything that had to be like split. We would have to do it that way, and so it was an interesting manner.
Like in Unplanned Melody or Senioritis Confessions, just imagine doing that for like 9 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was like during the summer.
And Unplanned Melody is a 9-part series, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has like 9 episodes, and then no one knows this, but there's gonna be like a kind of a let's just say a sneak peek at our new season that comes out later this year on June 2nd with the premiere of Stimuli. There's gonna be like a bonus episode, if you will.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And so what are you guys most proud of? Well, Nick, what are you most proud of with about your performance with an unplanned melody? And like we kind of touched on it because you were, a lot of people don't like you, because your character was so good. You played your character so well. But what are you so proud about it?
Well, I mean, it's always great to hear stuff like that. But yeah, it was kind of an experience. So I auditioned for originally the main role, and I don't think my character was originally like in the script, and I think Christian added in my character after seeing me. So I think that's the story. I don't want to put like that out there.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I kind of things changed, and I'm really happy I did. I mean, both characters are great, but I'm really glad I got to experiment with this kind of like just asshole. Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. He was just somebody super selfish, somebody that I don't necessarily relate to. I don't try to like push my own agenda on people like that and like gaslight people. I mean, but yeah, it was really fun for me to act, and it was cool for me to get that experience of just like seeing other people and meeting people from across the country. And yeah, it was just a great experience for me.
Very cool, man. No, I was gonna say it's always fun because I'm an actor too, man, and it's always fun to play someone like you said, don't relate to. You're totally like the opposite of your personality, like just total a-hole, right? And which is I'm totally just the nicest guy, but
or maybe that's what Christian saw in me, and that's why he made the role, because he just.
Oh man, that's awesome. And Christian, as the director, man, of an Unplanned Melody, what was the most challenging thing for you, man? We're talking about some of those challenges that you encountered throughout the process.
Yeah, so I would say that there were 3 particular challenges. The first challenge is, as Nick already explained, just the technical barriers. Basically, so we were in the heat of the pandemic where even if we had actors that were, based in the state, we wouldn't be able to film in person, under no conditions. But that kind of opened a window of opportunity where we can cast talent from across the world most of the actors that are in an unplanned melody are not from California, because we were able to get the best of the best by filming it remotely. So we really had to think out of the box. If you watch the series, the characters never meet in person. They're always like on a Zoom call, on a phone call, whatever. But it makes total sense. Like, you wouldn't think like, oh, it's cheap. It's just cutting away from having them meet. But it actually makes total sense. Like, oh yeah, they don't need to meet in person. And so I really had to write a script where, like, okay, why do they never interact in person? And I'm a person that likes things to make complete and total sense. And so it's difficult writing something where it's like, okay, how can I justify not having them meet in person? But I think it did that. The second challenge was like just a schedule. I'm not even gonna go into saying like when an unplanned melody started filming, but basically it filmed for a number of months. I believe like the bulk of its filming before reshoots. It filmed for 2 months, like every day for like 8 weeks. It was crazy. And like 8-hour days, filming with so many different actors. I would film with Nick and I'd be like, oh, all right, I gotta hop on a Zoom call with Josie Zahar now, And so it was crazy. And then as soon as I think Nick remembers, like, his last day of filming, I just started at UCLA. So I was like, all right, Nick, we gotta wrap this. Like, I have my first day of school. And then the third barrier was like, so I'll let everyone in on a new secret if they all promise to watch an unplanned melody. Half the actors you see in an unplanned melody are recasted actors. They were not in an unplanned melody at first. Only Nick, Andre, and Josie Zahar are the originals. I was in an unplanned melody at one point. I relinquished that role. And so like the roles of Miles and Olivia, they were always up for grabs. They had been reshot so many times because we were trying to find the right actor. And then a year later, in the fall of last year, we found the right actors. We continued shooting, and that's why it's coming out now.
Wow, man! Yeah, that's interesting. How all that panned out, man, and during the pandemic, and then
Nick, you want to say something?
Yeah, I liked what you said about the writing. How it was a challenge to write that, but I thought it was really interesting how it was kind of you didn't even have to write reasons. It's just kind of a story being told through these Zoom meets. It's just kind of the way you told the story. Like you could have done it in live action, like with the people there, but you kind of told this thing where it's like you don't get the full picture, but you get just enough, and it's kind of like this cool way of telling the story.
So I think we worked with what we had in that kind of case.
Yeah, I think it worked out really well.
Very cool, very cool. And I'm sorry, Christian, you said you wrote AUM, correct?
Yeah, I wrote all 4 of the seasons.
Yeah, okay. And what inspired you to write? How did you come up with the concept, man? Because it explores, the subject matter, right, of teen pregnancy and all of that. And so tell a little bit about where you got that idea from, man.
Yeah, so obviously, teen pregnancy is never going to be something that I will personally be able to relate to. But I think when AUM started with its first season in 2020, an Unplanned Miracle, I had just met so many women that had been in this kind of situation. And especially, being a Hispanic, it happens far too often in this kind of community, and it's not talked about enough, and it's not addressed enough. And so I felt an obligation to, not make the story my own, but really just share the story, and bring awareness to it. Really, I think a little goes a long way. I just wanted to take what I knew, which is that coerced situations happen in an unplanned pregnancy, and all too often women feel alone, or that they're not able to do, pursue their goals and, have that family. My mom certainly wasn't when she had me. And so I think that's what really got the ball rolling with that. But what I love about each season is that each season, the teen pregnancy is kind of like a plot device, but each season addresses something different, and hopefully something relatable. The first one is about obviously an unplanned pregnancy, but it's about, really giving this relentless trust to another person in the sense of, this romantic couple. And then an unplanned melody is about, I would say, learning to that sacrifice and suffering aren't always the same thing, and that you could find joy and hope and sacrificing, and sacrifice can be very beautiful. But also learning to trust again, I would say, if Nick would agree with me on that. And then an unplanned milestone, I think, really takes the ball home. The biggest thing to me in an unplanned milestone, because again, I can't relate to being a mom, and that's primarily what it's about. It's kind of the full circle for this female teen mom character. But what I can relate to is the dichotomy of not feeling good enough or always feeling commodified, especially in Hollywood, right? For your race or your appearance. But then also the dichotomy of romantic relationships and friendship, and wanting to have both. And maybe friendship is something that's very important to me. And I think in a few months people will be able to see at least what I would do for friendship. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. And so yeah, I just think you write what you know, and imagination can take you a long way.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, because I'm gonna have someone watch this, specifically someone very close to me, and my mom, because she had me at 18 years old when she was 18. So I'm definitely gonna have her watch this, man, and see how she relates to it, and I think it would be interesting, to get her take on what happens, on what she, if she, what parallels she can draw from her own experience and the film. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't wait to show her this, man. It's interesting, and like you said, man, it's a very it can become a very touchy subject, right? And very sensitive and controversial and all of those things. And but I also want to get into Stimuli a little bit, which is the other production that you guys have done, the other project. And this one also is directed by Christian Allen. And Alejandro, what can you give us a little explanation of your involvement in your role in Stimuli?
So Stimuli was amazing. Like I was a lead actor and I was an executive producer in Stimuli. So Stimuli, the way it came out to be, me and Christian met in a classroom. It was in COM 152 with our professor Michael Zuman, who actually made a cameo appearance in Stimuli. We got our professor to be in a cameo.
No, I'm joking.
No, I'm just no. Spoiler alert. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, shout out to your professor. What's his name, Alejandro? I'm so sorry.
Michael Zuman.
Yeah, great professor. But we met in that classroom, and so it was about media effects. It was a lot about media effects. This sort of like exposure to social media, kind of like just detoxifying from social media, from like sort of like root of being constantly plugged in, being constantly just on this sort of social media grind. And so I feel like we made it like very relatable with the fact that like our generation is gonna have to. We were practically born like not before we could be like this sort of like understood like as influencers and everything, but a little too late to be early internet and all that stuff. So we were just born in between those like eras, and I feel like that was a huge influence with Stimuli, is just finding kind of like commentary about how social media has become like the sort of like a burden that we all have to bear in a way. And so Stimuli, well, we produced it by actually looking at some of the effects that our professor has backed up, that are that we've seen with several studies about, and you're able to see that with how the actors and like how my my fellow actress Evelyn Wan plays in several of these roles, and how like there's sort of like this thriller aspect of it, that it's like it's keeping you like on your seat, like, ooh, like what's gonna happen next. So it's like it's very suspenseful. It's very like it was something new for us. And something that I'd say about Stimuli also, I think this was for Believe You Are the Best. This was also our first time we were actually on the field recording everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And there was a lot of things I loved because there was a lot of things that happened that we loved and we hate at the same time because we were able to learn from that. And that's what matters. What matters is being able to, give it a shot and being like those on locations, being able to like, okay, we'll plan this better. We'll do this. There was a lot of like, for example, like there was some trouble like scheduling, things like that, but we were able to sort it out with later projects. And this all had to happen with Stimuli, and we're able to come out with something absolutely amazing. And so, and especially because this is like a student film, and this was also like when we were still barely coming back from the pandemic and our first time doing on location shooting.
Well,
that was amazing.
What I would say is also impressive about Stimuli is it was written in like 2 days, was it not?
Exactly. We were just like doing brainstorm, like like we could do that. Like we were thinking about like so many things. There was like a lot of sci-fi influence. There was a lot of influence about like from psycho thrillers, a lot of genres that we wanted to like deep dive into, but we also want to do commentary about about not just social media but our society and everything. But I'd say, sorry, an accessory thing just popped up. But it was just amazing, just having to come up with that, and then in 2 days, like, wow, we just made like a feature length of a script. Exactly.
Well, I would also say, I think what's really cool about it, I think if you watch Stimuli, you would think, one, we've been doing this for years, and two, like we've known each other for years to do this, but like we were all students. I actually am taking my very first screenwriting class this quarter. I never took a screenwriting class before that. But I think a lot can happen when you find the right people to work with, between my co-director and co-writer, Emily Otsuka, and also meeting Alejandro. I think if it was anyone else, if it had been someone not Emily or not Alejandro, it wouldn't have happened. And but because it was it did happen. And yeah, I think there was just kind of like this instant connection. I look back at, as I'm coming to the end here at UCLA, I look back and like think like, oh wow, did we really make a movie? And it's like, yeah, we did make a movie. I didn't think that would have happened, but I guess it was just really good synergy, I guess.
And it was also just great having to like work with everyone, just working with everyone, and also having like them input like something. Like, for example, I went from like a lead actor to becoming like this executive producer, and I didn't even think about like, oh well, yeah, I mean, technically a lot of these ideas that are written into the story and engraved, and like some of like the sort of like the little directing, like from having to shift the camera to have a more dramatic portrayal or anything, like those little quips, you were able to like branch off to different departments that would be 10 different other jobs in the film industry. So it's like you're able to like see like, oh, this is what I like this sort of aspect of cinematography. I like how well comprised the script is. I love to act in this one. I like being the bad guy. I like being the good guy. I love being shown on camera in like a way that I wouldn't see myself. And so it's just amazing that that it's just we were given that opportunity.
Yeah, isn't it great when all the puzzles just the pieces come together, right? Like you said, the synergy, the chemistry between everybody, everything just works and everything falls into place, right? But Alejandro, for you, did you? I mean, I know obviously you're an actor and you produced. Is there one that you prefer? Do you love them both the same, or what? Where do you fall into that?
I love both of them like individual, like in their own ways. Like, for example, I wouldn't say I love Stimuli or anything. I wouldn't say like I love Stimuli more than AUM, or I love AUM more than Stimuli, because they both had different aspects about them. So like in Stimuli, not only was I able to like kind of like go back into acting that I left like back in 2014, I want to say 2015, but kind of like step back into being able to like train acting, but also having to being able to like see what roles you can be a part of. And so I think AUM, that's another thing that I like about AUM also, is the preparedness and everything wasn't like the same about stimuli, which is why I love like their different ways. I love their like kind of like separate, like I love them separately and for like their own little things. So stimuli, as much as like I loved like all this work and like working for it and everything, it was a little rough, but it feels like with AUM we are able to fix a lot of that. And even though I don't really like I don't have like a role in AUM itself, like in front of the camera itself, but it was mostly like production in the background. It was still beautiful to like just see like everything unfold, like seeing it from like without having to be stressed, like, oh no, time's running out, we gotta run, we gotta do this, we gotta scrap the scene, we gotta like. So it was a lot of but it was fun because again, it's a learning process. It's something, it's hands-on. It's stuff that you have to do yourself. It's stuff that you want to do yourself, that you got to learn yourself. It's nothing. It's not like you're gonna be able to like step up to a student. It's like, oh hey, I want to be like a director for this. I want to be a cinematographer for this, and they'll take you in. It's a huge process, and being able to produce your own content, make your own content, and that works for absolutely anything, whether it's social media content, reels, anything, or even making traditional media like movies, TV shows. And I think we're able to like evolve with stimuli or work with that in stimuli, and then kind of like really exemplify it in AUM, which is an unplanned milestone.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm sure you're learning, like you just mentioned, man. You're learning so much about the process, about yourself, filmmaking. There's all this stuff going on, man, and it's really, truly, remarkable to see that. I'm sure that you could. I mean, in the past 2 years, I bet you've come a long way. I would put money on that, right?
Actually, can I jump in on that?
Yeah.
A really cool thing about Believe You Are the Best is, it's been something that's existed for over 3 years and hopefully more years on the way. And so like I've been able to see not only actors like Nick grow, but I can speak to Alejandro, having him here. I've seen him grow a lot. As an actor, I think like it was his first time getting back into the swing of acting for Stimuli. So it brought him out of that. And then, but like also like, he's an actor. A few months back, we talked about crediting him as an EP for Stimuli, just with how much behind the scenes work he put in. And then, he kind of like leveled up from there. He was a cinematographer for Unplanned Melody, and that's his involvement there. But then, he really just killed it every time. Every time better and better until, do you want to see what you were for an Unplanned Milestone?
So I was a director for it.
Yeah.
So like ultimate. So and again, I want to thank like Christian again for like all these opportunities that like he's just given like I guess everyone I believe you are the best, because again, it's just something that I feel like you're not going to be experiencing in an internship or like working at a studio. You're getting like this hands-on. You're getting everything hands-on. You're getting everything. You're being able to like be a part of something big, be a part of something that has a change, be a part of be a part of a vision that like a couple of students, like a couple of us can like express. Like it's just like it's amazing how far like we've had it's about to graduate like in 1 month, and we're already like having like just like it's just crazy, and like having like this sort of like press and everything like for this stuff.
Hopefully having a big break.
I love it, and I just want to thank Christian a lot for this. I want to like thank on behalf of like everyone. I like Believe You Are the Best. I feel like you are the best. Like it sounds cheesy, but yeah, really like I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah.
And I like it's like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
That's awesome, man. No, man, you guys are just getting started, right? I mean, Nick, I wanted to go back to AUM, and Nick, talk about your growth process, man, and what were some of the greatest takeaways and learning things that you learned about yourself and in the process as an actor, everything. with AUM?
Um, two. Yeah, I was just thinking about stuff in my head. That's why I said two. And yeah, I feel like it's been a little bit, and I feel like I've grown since then. And but also during then, it was just like I had never done something like that before. I had a lot of theater background where you have this whole rehearsal process to like learn a script and learn the blocking and all this. But then with this, it's kind of just like, okay, here's the script. Make sure you have it done by the day we shoot because we're only shooting it for that one day. That's all we have. And it's just like it's a whole different thing, and it was kind of cool to get to know that side of it. And I mean, it's still like we're all students and stuff, but it just felt like I was getting that experience, you know, and so that helped me grow, and also just the playing that character and getting to meet new people. Like I said, it was great to not just. I got to like look more into it because there's how like my part in the story, like why certain things happened, and see like the progression because I wasn't in the first like an unplanned miracle, but I watched it before I do my research, and it was cool. I got to learn, so I felt like I got to know these characters, and even though my character didn't know what was going on, it was kind of like I'm this outside voice who doesn't know, which is kind of like a thing in real life. Like you don't know other people, you don't know what's going on. You so it was just kind of cool to a lot of things to think about.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I bet it was. Yeah. And again, man, you're just getting started too. And but I mean, as far as college, right? You have
Yeah.
your experience as a performer, and I want to kind of get into your platform a little bit, guys. Believe You Are the Best. It's called. Who started it? I think Christian, right? I want to say you were part of that, and Christian. And so talk about it, man. What was the inspiration for it? What was your vision for it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Of all days, today's the day that I got to go to this really cool nonprofit film award ceremony called Directing Change. And where Believe You Are the Best all started, it started with a short film about suicide prevention called I'm Here For You. Basically, I grew up completely outside of the industry. I had always wanted to go into it from a young age because I knew I liked expressing myself. And I was just really eager to do that. If it was acting, it was in, video. And if it wasn't in video, it was, writing music or writing little short stories. And so I kind of always had these big dreams to do that, but didn't have any means necessary to do that. And so my freshman year, I was provided the opportunity to direct a short film on suicide prevention for this organization, Directing Change. I did that. I also, from my advisor, I was forced to sing and act in it, which is crazy. So I directed it and wrote it as well. It submitted. It actually did not win. Like it came nowhere close. But Directing Change like stayed in touch with me, and they were like, "Oh, we would like you to make more of this." And this is right before the pandemic, so I started shooting a bunch more content. There was kind of like this boom of senioritis sketches and series that was going into the works, Sleep-Based Graduation, which is also about mental health. And then it met the moment perfectly. The pandemic happened. People needed entertainment more than ever. And so I was able to make these really stupid at-home videos with my little brother and I. I got to give my little brother Noah credit because he kind of founded this with me.
Okay.
And yeah,
Shout out
but
to Noah.
with me wanting to talk about things that aren't talked about. If it's not mental health or suicide prevention, it's teen pregnancy, and if it's not teen pregnancy, it's taking a breather from technology and your phones and seeing what's in front of you. And I think that's what I like about Believe You're the Best. It brings awareness. But yeah, so Believe You're the Best. If I had to say it was anything, it's a platform that exists to inspire people to be the best version of themselves through having stimulating media. But I would give a lot of credit to I think it really took off with what Alejandro called it before. It's Holy Grail, which is the AUM series that got its name out there. That's why AUM is still going 3 years later. But I would say it kind of had a reset when I came to UCLA. I remember I was gonna quit Believe You're the Best. I was like, I'm done, and Unplanned is it and whatnot. And then I met Alejandro, and maybe he doesn't remember this, but I remember we actually there was a business and entertainment like professional development event that I went to. I remember I went like all snazzy, and he was just kind of casual.
I remember that, yeah.
And then I remember we were walking back to my apartment, and I really didn't know him too well, but like I just went on a rant. I say I'm a thesaurus for useless film information. I went on a rant about like how the only film a lot of people don't know, the only like TV I was exposed to most of my life was Disney Channel. I grew up on that. Maybe you can tell by watching my stuff. I didn't really watch much else. It was Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and Disney Channel.
Disney Channel.
And I remember telling him that. I was like, oh yeah, like all I've watched was Disney Channel and stuff like that, because we got to meet some Disney folks there. And for the first time in my life, like someone didn't make me feel embarrassed for that. And then I kind of let him in on Believe You're the Best. It was this like tightly kept secret at UCLA. I want no one to know, because Disney Channel's like, I call it Diet Coke. Believe You're the Best was Diet Coke Disney Channel. Now I think it's really taken off. But I told him about it, and there was no judgment there. And so then that got the ball rolling, and we were kind of like, yo, what if we made a film? Which is like so like unrealistic, but turns out is maybe not too unrealistic. And so there's this reset. I think Alejandro and everyone else part of Stimuli really had like a lot of faith in me. He's like, yeah, let's do a psycho thriller. And maybe he doesn't know this, but like the first quarter at UCLA, I was losing my mind. I was like, I've never done a psycho thriller. Like, has he seen the stuff I made? And no, he hadn't, because the stuff wasn't out yet. But like, I was like, if anyone watches an Unplanned Melody or Lupe's Graduation, then I do the antithesis of what a psycho thriller is. Like, it's all these corny camp like coming of age stuff. But I think Alejandro pointed out, like, we're able to bring what we know to the table, and then there's a huge learning curve, and there's a lot to learn during the production. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I can totally direct a psycho thriller for you. And then I was losing my mind. I was losing sleep. But having him and my co-writer to hold my hand, it was one of the best experiences of my life. And then I think from there, the production value just really took off. Started with Stimuli, it improved with an Unplanned Melody. And then, this an Unplanned milestone is in fact quite literally a milestone for all of us, I would say, and for Believe You Are the Best. And yeah.
Wow. Incredible, man. Incredible. I'm glad you took action, man, and you made it happen. And what's your guys' vision? Maybe, big picture or future vision for the future as far as your platform is concerned, man, with Believe You Are the Best. I mean, what are some of the plans you can share with us, or some that you foresee or envision for the future?
Well, I guess what I revealed today will be just an exclusive for this interview. But Nick, I can pull out my notebook. Do you want to give some ideas to what we should do next?
Oh, ideas? Well, I mean, I feel like the thing about this, you said it was like Diet Disney Channel. I disagree. I don't see. I mean, I don't. I remember some Hannah Montana. I haven't checked in with Disney Channel in a while, but I never saw them going to suicide prevention or like teen pregnancy and like abortion and that. So I mean, give yourself some more credit. But
That's a good point.
so I feel like that's what sets this apart, is kind of there's a level of like campiness and like whatever to it, but it delves into like topics that need to be talked about more, and or that need more of a platform, and we just and it's just great. That's what it's about. It's why it's called Believe You Are the Best. It's not called the Christian Allen Show. It's called Believe You Are the Best. I mean, it could be called that because, but
that name change.
You're getting a lot of credit, Christian.
So
You're getting a lot of credit,
I feel
Christian.
like, yeah, definitely. And I just feel like maybe something about, I don't know, like grieving, like the grieving process, and how like recovering with that, because a lot of people have been going through loss, starting to feel like they're just going on a total 180 there with like the whole Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things with like people need help knowing
Mm,
how to handle their stress and grievances, and especially now. So
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. What are some other? Oh, go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Pitch your question.
No, I was going to ask you what are some other genres that you kind of want to explore with your platform?
I never go with like genre of what I want to do. Especially,
Mm,
I the gates have been open to me. Being at UCLA taking film classes, I'm seeing a lot more like film noir and sci-fi that I never saw before. People won't believe Stimuli is quite like The Matrix, but I never watched The Matrix until like a few months ago. So
I watched The Matrix.
I'm an imposter on every front. I didn't do screenwriting, didn't watch The Matrix. Anyway, I mainly go with themes, and as Nick said, I think like there's like this hopefully what I love about my projects is that they're like a window into my soul, and I'm just so happy that other people would join me in expressing that little piece of what I have to offer. I think like there's a progression, if you watch what mainly started, which is like Lupe's graduation, onto the AUM stuff, an unplanned melody to stimuli to an unplanned milestone. I think you can kind of see like at least I can look back and I can be like, that's where I was in life. When I wrote this, this was happening. There was a pandemic, or maybe there was like I don't know some sort of like relationship being grieved, right? So I think I never really go into it with like an intention. Um,
mm,
every time I do a project, I'm like, this is it. 2 years ago, I was like, an unplanned melody is never gonna happen. And then like, look, we did like 3 more seasons. So, I should really stop saying that. We did Stimuli, and I was like, okay, Stimuli is a one and done. There's actually a pretty cool sequel to Stimuli that is already written. I think it takes the theme of an unplanned milestone, which is about like grief and it combines it with this uh, diegetic world, we'll say, of stimuli. So I think that's it. I assess where I am in life. I see a theme that I want to do, and then I kind of write the story to make that come to life, and then hopefully it continues to come to life. I mean, I've been so fortunate, and so hopefully that continues.
yeah, I like what you said, Christian, about it's it's a kind of a window to your soul, man, and
Yeah.
you kind of go with what your it seems to me like as if you go with what you're feeling with your heart, right, and what you're feeling, and kind of at least that's the way I'm interpreting, but no, which is great, man. I think anything you do in life, right, I think is important that you do with your passion, that what you're passionate about, and with your you lead with your heart, right. I think you can never go wrong with that, doing that, right. But I want to as we wrap things up, guys, I want to kind of just want to hear like what are your some of your goals, personal goals, professional goals as you guys move on, and Alejandro, if you don't mind kind of sharing with us, man, what you envision for yourself, short term, long term as well,
Well, again, I just want to thank, believe you are the best for being like here at UCLA and just helping me out with what I want to do, like here in the entertainment industry, and that kind of adds on to one of my short-term and long-term goals. So, short-term goals, I definitely want to find a way to stay in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, again, it's it's very expensive, but I want to stay here. It's just there's so much opportunity here. There's a lot of emphasis lately on placing Chicanos, placing Hispanos, Latinos, nosotros, placing us like in Hollywood, and placing more of like an emphasis, having more like Hispanic stories like being told. And so I feel like right now is like one of the best times that we're getting this out there with the Oscar, the Oscars finally recognizing a lot of those voices. The Academy's like recognizing a lot of what's being done now, and so I want to be there for that. I want to be there to support in the short term, and in the long term, I want to find a way to like give this impact of whether it's like working in cinematography or working in acting, producing, directing, or even just working in general in the entertainment industry. I want to give away like something that I feel like like something that will help, you know, like first generation, first generation Americans,
Yeah.
first generation, like just parents, like immigrant parents. And I just want to like let them know that it's just like the sacrifice was worth it. I think it's like huge like theme, I guess, like with me, because my parents are they're both immigrants. They're both they were both my mom. Shout out to my parents, but my mom is from Tecate. My dad is from Tijuana. I lived in Tijuana when I was little, also, and
Very cool.
so this sort of like journey, like I would never envision, you know, myself coming from like, a Mexican family living in Mexico,
Mhm.
uh, to now like being in Los Angeles and working in one of the industries that I've always wanted to work in since I was little. And I feel like a huge part of that is, all the sacrifices that parents do, all the sacrifices that not just from like parents, immigrants, from a lot of that we're finally being seen in a way. And so I just want to like I just want to like find a way to stay in Los Angeles, stay connected with Christian, stay connected with everyone that I've met in college, because these people, everyone that you meet here in UCLA, and even people that you meet outside of UCLA, everyone is gonna have a bright future ahead of them. Everyone's working hard to be in this bright future, working hard for whether for work, for families, for what they're gonna have for future families potential. but but I just really want to be a part of all of their lives, and I want to be a huge like just I just want to make everyone proud.
Yeah, man. No, that's great, Alejandro. That's powerful, man. And like you said, there's a lot of doors opening up, and voices are being heard. And but, speaking on the Latino, as far as the Latino landscape, right? A lot of those stories are being told, man. So there's a lot of opportunity, coming down, and which is great, right? Which is great in that arena specifically and beyond. So, but yeah, man, like I said, man, you're just getting started, man, and you're just scratching the surface, man. And I can't wait to see your progression and as you move on with your career, man. And so that's exciting, man. Nick,
Thank
if
you.
you could share with us some of your short-term, long-term goals, man, and yeah,
All
tell
right. I
us.
mean, I'm working on getting my degree. I'd like to carry through with that, but afterwards, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to try do. I know I want to do acting, but I kind of want to try a little bit of everything. I've done a lot of theater. I want to do more film. I like you had talked about. I want to try to do some voiceover. That's really interesting to me. And yeah, I mean, for my senior year, at least the plan is right now. Ryder has a program where we go to LA and we get internships. So, well, I
Oh,
mean, we have to find our own internships, but we go to LA for our last semester, and so maybe you'll see me in some live action stuff. Who knows? With Believe You're the Best, that'd be great. But
yeah.
yeah. But
Have you been out
that's
here, Nick? By the way, have you been here?
I have not been very far west, no. But
Okay.
just kind of down the coast, really. But yeah. I mean, maybe I'll end up moving there. I don't know. I mean, depends on what happens. I might go to New York. I might, but things are so expensive now. I don't know, man. It also
I know,
smells
right?
there
Everything's
sometimes.
expensive.
Yup.
Um, but yeah. Who knows?
Yeah,
I just want to keep acting.
absolutely, man. And like I said, just like I told Alejandro, man, and yeah, you got a bright future, man. And like I said, I can't wait to see your performance in these projects that we talked about tonight. And yeah, I wish you all the luck, man. And yeah, I hope to see you out here sometime soon. And on the West Coast here.
Yeah.
And last but not least, my man, Christian Allen, what's on the horizon for you, boss? And what can you share with us?
Yeah, well, I guess what I can share is that in the summer, in June, I'm gonna fly to DC to talk about more projects like AUM being made, more projects that build teen pregnancy awareness, there have been a lot of I never expected that there would be so many sponsors and whatnot that would, that would be reached by these series and these seasons, and want to invest in more of that, which is really really cool. Um, my dad always would say something, which is, "If you build it, they will come." I thought, teen pregnancy is such a very sensitive topic, and it's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. But it's been so moving to a lot of people, and I think it really illuminates not only how much needs to be done in that space, but in a lot of spaces. And so hopefully what I can continue doing is to work in the independent part of Hollywood and, maybe spearhead projects that would not be made otherwise about teen pregnancy, about, being Latino in Hollywood and whatnot. But definitely, I'm going to be working in LA. I'm also fighting, like Alejandro, fighting to stay in LA, which is harder than it seems. But yeah, staying in LA is a short-term goal. Long-term goal, to work here for the next year as a assistant to a executive producer, and then making another series like AUM, getting the sequel of Stimuli off the ground, and then the plan is next year, I'm going to come back to UCLA, be a double Brune, for a screenwriting and producing MFA.
Oh man, beautiful, beautiful, Christian. Again, man, I can't wait to see all you guys, man, continue to progress and ascend into the stratosphere. And one thing I forgot to ask you, Nick, if you can share, where can the good people find you? Where can they connect with you? Where can they see your work? Social media, websites, all that.
I'm on Instagram, and it's just Nicholas G04, and that's, I have a YouTube channel. I don't post on it much, but I have a couple of cute videos of me singing if you want to see that. It's Nick Grizz, no spaces, no uppercases. That's about it for me though.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And Alejandro, if you could share, where can we connect with you?
So I've been getting on social media a lot recently. So I'm like Manny from Stimuli. I've been like almost
every day he becomes more like his character.
But I mainly use my Instagram, which is at _ AMC _ 19. And I'm not even sure if I got that right, but
no, that's it.
No, that is yeah. See,
that's
how much. Okay, and then TikTok, yeah, I've been testing with short form content. I'm a huge I love cars. I love car culture, and so I've been testing short form content with editing, doing things like that on my TikTok, which is at GTAMC 19. Yeah, that's GTAMC. Because also I love Grand Theft Auto is my favorite game, and when I was yeah, or not. Oops, but I would play it a lot, and so it's a huge inspiration for some of the stuff that I make. And yeah, so I'd say mostly so on my TikTok again, GTAMC 19, and then on Instagram it's _ AMC _ 19.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Thank you very much. And
Thank
last
you.
but not least, absolutely, you're welcome, Christian. Where can we?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at It's Christian Allen. So it's then my name, Christian Allen. It rhymes if that makes it easier to spell. And then also where you can find all of us is at Believe You Are the Best at BYATB 3.0. You can watch Stimuli, an Unplanned Melody, everything. You could watch Nick do a funny dance on there. You could watch so many different things. Alejandro's on like half of the TikToks as clickbait. So yeah, just so much stuff. You can watch it all on there on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube at BYATB 3.0.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, man. It's and so if you could clarify for me, guys, where so both Stimuli and AUM are both out, right? On streaming, or
So,
one of them?
And Unplanned Melody is completely out. You could find it on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok at Believe You're the Best 3.0. It's accessible that way so that it can be shared and reach the young women and individuals that need it.
Okay.
So that's completely streaming. But a bonus episode of it will come out June 2nd, conjoined with the premiere of Stimuli. But Stimuli currently has like these little like scripted shorts with them and their characters that are coming out in 3 parts, 3 times on a Friday, every Friday until June 2nd. So you can get a sneak peek at him, his acting, the concoction cleansing moisturizer, which is a joke. It's not dirty. Yeah. So you can watch it in Stimuli.
Okay, got it, man. I got to go check those out, man, and make sure you guys check those out as well. Man, I want to thank you guys for coming on, for sharing your experiences, for giving us a glimpse of your world.
Thank you.
Chris, absolutely, man.
Having your platform.
Yeah, if I could.
It's been great to be here.
I'm very thankful to you having us on here. It's a great opportunity. I'm also very thankful to Nick and very thankful to Alejandro.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bro. And I appreciate Holly, everyone, like just like having like this amount of like faith and just like our projects is just amazing. It's just like it warms my heart, honestly. Like just being able to like. It's like I didn't expect, anyone, like any of us, like didn't expect to be here. Like it's amazing. but yeah, sorry, I'm like getting myself off guard. But I want to thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, Alejandro, man. You guys are an inspiration, man. I say it all the time. My platform is all about inspiring others, man, and bringing on guests who are doing inspirational things in life. And you guys are the personification of that, and I thank you guys for inspiring me and for giving me that shot in the arm, man, to go out and continue to pursue my dreams, and keep going, So thank you guys.
Do it and believe you are the best while doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Believe you are the best, man. I love it. That sums it up. And by the way, guys, if you ever need an actor, I'd love to audition for you guys. So let me know. I'd love to work with you guys, man. That'd be awesome. So, we're not too far away from each other. So I'm out here in Simi Valley, and not too far away, man. So we're here. We're all California here. So SoCal, right? Obviously, Nick's, but we can make it work somehow, just like you guys did on your projects, man. So there's no limitation, right? There's no
if we're
barrier.
able to work with Australia, we can work with Simi Valley.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man! Hey, I want to give a shout out to everybody who Laura Cruz came on. If you guys can see that, she dropped a comment. Cristobal Garcia, thank you, Cristobal, for coming on. My good friend Joe Sanchez came on. Go Bruins! He's a big UCLA guy. So I want to thank everybody for watching. There's a lot of people watching tonight. Thank you, everyone. If you don't mind, go and before I say that, go follow these gentlemen. Go check out their projects, man. You will not be disappointed. And again, they are an inspiration. They're on their way up, and they're going to make waves. They're making waves already. So once again, go check them out. And I was going to say, please subscribe to the Profile Pod. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed this interview, it's one little way you can support, show your love is just hit that subscribe button there on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So much appreciated, guys. Thank you once again, man. I can't wait to let's stay connected. Let's continue to build and inspire and create art, man. I love creating art, man. So thank you guys.
Yay! Thank you.
There you guys are. You're welcome, Nicholas. Good luck to you out there on the East Coast. Christian, Alejandro, good luck to you guys. Like I said, man, let's stay connected. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on the live or on the replay. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Go follow these guys. They're doing it, man. So go UCLA.
Four's up.
Four's up right here, baby. Yeah.
Oh, we should have done the A platform. Wait.
Go ahead. Here we go. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Wait.
All right, you.
So it goes.
clap.
It goes. You.
Okay,
Wait.
wait.
How does it go? You.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
UCLA. UCLA. Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's UCLA.
Oh
Where's
man,
up?
there you go.
Where's up?
Nick, we
Two's
gotta
down.
see you do that next time. You gotta memorize.
I've got to learn it. All right.
Let's go around campus doing it.
Oh man. Hey guys, thanks again, everybody. We'll see you guys next time right here on the Profile Pod. For Christian, Alejandro, for Nick, I'm Double A, your host of the Profile Pod. Always reminding you to take it easy. We'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.